Are you ready for a game-changing move from the Toronto Maple Leafs? With the trade deadline looming, Brad Treliving has dropped a tantalizing hint about the type of player he's eyeing, and it could reshape our lineup. What if I told you the Leafs are on the hunt for a gritty third-line center who can elevate our play on both ends of the ice? This isn't just speculation. Treliving is gearing up for a strategic acquisition that could make all the difference in our playoff push. Make sure to subscribe and hit that like button to stay in the loop on every thrilling update about our beloved Leafs. Brad Treliving dropped a significant hint this week about what lies ahead for the Toronto Maple Leafs as we inch closer to the trade deadline on March 7th. As a passionate fan of this storied franchise, I can't help but feel the anticipation in building. The pressure is undoubtedly mounting on Treliving to secure a deal that bolsters our chances for a deep playoff run. His recent comments suggest he's been doing his homework, and honestly, it's refreshing to see a general manager take a strategic approach. Treliving made it clear he isn't looking for a center who can overshadow Auston Matthews or John Tavares. Instead, he's focused on finding a third-line center who can contribute offensively, excel in both penalty kill and power play situations, and bring a physical edge to the game. This is a smart move. We all know the importance of maintaining the integrity of our star players while also enhancing the depth of our roster. It's all about striking that delicate balance. Now let's talk about the potential targets on Treliving's radar. Names like Yanni Gourde and Chris Kreider have been floated around, but honestly, their price tags might be a bit too steep for our budget. Treliving has to navigate this market carefully. We can't afford to mortgage our future for immediate gains, especially with the salary cap looming large. That's a lesson many teams have learned the hard way. When I hear Treliving mention players like Trent Frederic, Ryan Donato, and Christian Dvorak, I feel a surge of hope. Frederic, in particular, stands out to me. He's a young, bulky pivot who had a breakout season last year. Pairing him with Bobby McMann could create a dynamic duo that brings both speed and physicality to our forward lines. This is exactly the kind of depth we need. Then there's Yanni Gourde. He may not fit the traditional mold of a Treliving player, but his relentless style, defensive acumen, and playoff experience as a two-time Stanley Cup champion make him an intriguing option. Could he be the spark we need to push us over the edge? I think he could be a valuable asset, adding grit and determination to our roster. And let's not forget about Ryan Donato. He may not be a household name, but he has offensive talent and a solid two-way game that could serve us well. Imagine him thriving in a role similar to that of Noel Acciari when he paired with Ryan O'Reilly. That kind of contribution could be pivotal for our bottom six, giving us the depth that often makes the difference in playoff hockey. Now, Dvorak is another interesting case. If Treliving can orchestrate a deal that allows Montreal to retain some salary, we could be looking at a player who averages about 16 goals and has a face-off win percentage near 53%. This is the kind of smart acquisition that could provide significant returns without breaking the bank. But here's where I get torn. Folks, do we really believe these players can elevate our team enough to make a real push for the cup? It's a gamble, but one that could pay off immensely. The chemistry of this current squad is something we shouldn't take lightly. We've seen how quickly things can fall apart when a team's dynamic is disrupted. Treliving has to ensure that whatever move he makes enhances our chances without compromising the existing chemistry. As a die-hard Leafs fan, the thought of a significant trade before the deadline has me on the edge of my seat. The weight of our hopes rests on this roster, and each decision will ripple through the rest of the season. I genuinely want to see us succeed and make a deep playoff run this year, but it's going to take some deft maneuvering from our front office to get there. Mitch Marner's recent comments after the Toronto Maple Leafs' disappointing loss to the Vancouver Canucks have sparked quite a discussion among fans and analysts alike. In a post-game interview, Marner, standing alone in his perspective, expressed that he liked how the team played, even though the scoreboard told a very different story with a 3-0 defeat. This optimism, especially when contrasted with the criticism from his teammates, raises some questions. Was Marner trying to deflect the negativity, or does he genuinely believe that there were positives to take away from that game? Elliot. Friedman, a respected voice in the NHL community, has offered an intriguing theory on Marner's mindset. He suggests that Marner's comments could be a form of personal defense mechanism. In essence, instead of confronting the harsh reality of a poor game, Marner opts to focus on the silver linings, perhaps as a way to shield himself and his teammates from the crushing disappointment that fans feel. It's a coping strategy, one that some athletes adopt to maintain their confidence amidst adversity. Friedman compared Marner's approach to that of golfers who have a bad day on the course but choose to focus on the positives to keep their spirits up. This raises an important discussion. Is this approach reflective of a fragile confidence? As fans who live and breathe every moment of this team's journey, we want our players to be honest and own up to their shortcomings. When Marner speaks about playing well, it feels disconnected from the reality of a loss, and that can frustrate fans. I can understand the position Marner is in. The pressure to maintain a positive outlook, especially when the team is struggling, can be immense. But I also feel that acknowledging the reality of a bad performance is crucial. After all, how can the team address its issues if they don't admit they exist? It's a fine line to walk, and honestly, I'm torn about whether Marner's approach is beneficial or detrimental. As passionate fans, we crave transparency. We want to hear our players say, "Yeah, we messed up and we need to do better." That kind of honesty fosters a connection with the fan base. It shows that the players are invested and recognize the weight of our expectations. Marner's comments, while perhaps intended to protect his teammates and himself, can come off as dismissive of our frustrations. This brings us to a broader question about the team's strategic moves and how they impact our hopes for the season. The Maple Leafs have made some significant adjustments lately, and it's essential to analyze how these decisions will affect our trajectory. With the roster changes, the coaching strategies, and the overall direction of the team, are we setting ourselves up for success? Or are we just putting band-aids on deeper issues? Do you think this was the best decision? Honestly, I'm torn. I see the potential in some of these moves, but I also worry about how they will play out under pressure. As a fan, it's hard not to feel a mix of excitement and anxiety about what lies ahead. Are we building towards something great, or are we just delaying the inevitable? I want to hear your opinions down below. Your thoughts matter, and together we can dissect these strategies and their implications. Are you feeling optimistic about the direction the team is heading? Or are you concerned that we're just treading water? As we continue to navigate through this season, it's crucial to remain engaged and vocal. Your input shapes the conversation, and it's essential for all of us to rally together as we support our team. Don't forget to activate the notification bell to get all the latest updates. Like, share, and subscribe to stay connected with fellow Leafs fans as we watch this season unfold. Let's keep the dialogue going. Together, we can weather any storm.